Right now, your phone is within arm's reach. You feel a flicker of nothing, a gap, and before you've decided to, your thumb is already moving toward the screen. You call this boredom. But the real answer is far stranger. That itch is not a flaw. It's a 50,000-year-old survival mechanism, still running exactly as programmed, except now it has nowhere useful to go. Picture a woman at the mouth of a cave, 40,000 years ago. The hunt is over. There is nothing left to do. Does she sit still? She does not. She scratches lines into the dirt. She hums a rhythm with no name. She turns a bone over in her hands until it looks like something. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner studied the Ju hoansi people of the Kalahari, one of the last groups to live a traditional hunter-gatherer life. She recorded their talk after dark, the bored hours, when there was nothing to find and nothing to track. Daytime talk was practical. Who found water? Who saw lion tracks? But nighttime talk was almost entirely stories, myths, gossip, jokes, arguments about nothing that mattered, just for the pleasure of arguing. Wiessner called this the difference between informational talk and imaginative talk. And the imaginative talk, the stuff that only happened when there was nothing else to do, was the glue. It was how children learned the rules of being human without ever sitting through a lesson. Boredom was not empty time. It was the only time the group had to build itself. You inherited that exact mechanism. You just don't recognize it anymore. Here is what's happening inside you, right before you reach for your phone. Your brain runs on what neuroscientist Marcus Raichle named the default mode network. He mapped it almost by accident, scanning brains during rest periods, the boring control condition between real experiments. The brain wasn't quiet during rest. It was louder. A whole network lit up the moment a person stopped focusing on anything. It pulled up memories. It simulated future conversations. It replayed an argument from 3 days ago. Why would evolution build that in? Because for most of human history, idle time was the only time available for the most necessary kind of thinking, planning. A hunter-gatherer who felt restless during a quiet afternoon wasn't malfunctioning. That restlessness pushed them to scout new territory, test a new technique, wander slightly further, and discover where the good water was. Boredom was a nudge, a signal that said, "Your environment has more to offer. Go find it." Psychologist John Eastwood at York University defines boredom as wanting to be engaged in something satisfying, but being unable to. Notice what that doesn't say. It doesn't say boredom is the absence of stimulation. You can be bored in a room full of noise. You can be bored scrolling through hundreds of videos a minute. Eastwood's research found boredom isn't about how much is happening. It's about whether any of it feels like it matters. This is where the ancient signal and the modern world stop matching up. Your ancestors' boredom had an exit. Walk further. Try a new tool. Talk to someone by the fire. The restlessness pointed somewhere, and it usually paid off. Your boredom today gets answered in under 3 seconds by something engineered to never quite satisfy you. Every refresh, every notification is a tiny answer to that ancient nudge. But it's an answer with no nutrition in it. You feel the itch. You reach. The itch fades for a second. Then it's already back. A 2017 study led by psychologist Wijnand van Tilburg found that boredom spikes specifically when activity feels meaningless, even if that activity is constant. Busyness without purpose doesn't relieve the itch. It just keeps it simmering, permanently. Here's the part that should stop you. The Kalahari nights Wiessner studied, full of stories that built an entire culture, only happened because there was nothing else available to fill the silence. No screen to glance at. So the silence had to be filled by each other. Children weren't being entertained. They were absorbing the moral structure of their society. Who is brave? Who is foolish? Just by sitting in the dark listening to stories with no competition. You still have that same mechanism sitting inside your skull tonight. The restlessness still arrives, right on schedule, the moment nothing is happening. The question is no longer whether you'll feel it. You will. You're built to. The question is what you let answer it. Tonight, when that flicker hits, you'll have a choice your ancestors never had to think about. Reach for the thing built to absorb the signal, or follow it the way it was designed to be followed, towards something that actually fills the space it was pointing at all along. Right now, your phone is within arm's reach, but it was never the only answer. It's just the easiest one.